My name is Ian Walsh. This is the recap of the moment money matters, and we are talking about. We're actually just upgrading the series in terms of quality of production. So we're going to rehash on some old topics, some that have come up over the past, that I've thought of that I just didn't do a video on. And today I want to talk about business not being as hard as people make it. So one thing that, and we'll actually talk about this too. I'll talk about this with George. We were just talking about people calling themselves very busy and so forth. So business is not hard. And what do I mean by that? Do you work hard? Sure. But when you look back after you've built a business and you realize how many hours you spent on things that were really just you churning and burning and probably not making you money, you realize, hey, this wasn't that hard if I made the right decisions or I tried to force myself into an efficient state of mind early. So I'd say from a basic standpoint, business, don't overcomplicate this. Money in versus money out. You need more money in than money going out. If you don't have that, you're operating at a deficit and it's going to cause chaos. The other thing I would say about business that's very important is, and it's hard to see, especially when you're starting a business, a lot of people build out a business plan and stuff. Business plans are for the birds. That shit is you could build out a 5-year business plan and look back on it and it'll have no relevance to what you had today, tomorrow. You want to kind of give yourself a short-term guide as to maybe what you're doing or trying, but you have to be very adaptive in nature when you're building a business. But make logical decisions. So you have more money in than money out, very important. You want to have a lot of money in than less money out, and less money out. But second thing you want to focus on is, okay, once I have money coming in or I'm about to have money coming in, how do I internally deal with it? Operations. You don't want to have a scenario, and I learned this very well in the management world and the hard money banking. Hard money bankers really did a really good job of this. Was, okay, what are the moving parts inside the business? Usually it's not that many. People like to think there's all these crazy things happening. It's not that many things. So you want to categorize the areas where pieces can move to. So for instance, property management, you have a few major topics like accounting, maintenance, residential affairs, leasing. Hard money, you're going to have accounting, servicing, underwriting, sales. So those are 4 topics that you can put, or buckets as they call them. You can put the internal workings of your business in, and you can break that down right away. The money's coming. This is the things that have to happen. Okay, now start working on, as we call them, departments. So work on those departments individually to make sure that each one flows together, hand off one to the other. What you don't want to do, which is what you see with so many small businesses, is that you see people come in, they start a business by themselves, they've got their hands all over everything, which is okay, it's normal, it's natural, and not, to some extent we all still do it. But if you continue to take on business yourself and do all of the moving parts yourself, and then you go, oh, I gotta hire somebody. And what happens is you hire somebody, you're not clear on what they should do, and if you're not clear on what they should do, all they end up doing is being confused, wrapped into your chaos, and not really, you're going to realize you didn't buy yourself any time, you just gave somebody else more chaos to deal with along with you. Whereas if you're departmentalizing very clearly and you say, okay, this is this topic that you have to handle, this is this role, accounting or maintenance or whatever it may be, if you have just that you're focused on and you build that out and you move to the next one, you move to the next one, and they don't overlap. What you don't want to have are one person comes in, you hire your first person to leverage your time, they come in and they are your secretary, your marketing department, your accounting department, and your collections department. Oh yeah, and they do some leasing on the side. That is chaos for a business. To have somebody in there, it's going to create a negative atmosphere. It's going to draw in the wrong kind of people that want to be inside of that. If you accept that role in a business, you're probably a chaotic person to begin with, and if you're going to create more chaos in your life and in your business. Now, it takes time to kind of work into this mindset, but what I've found is people that typically start businesses, their business is a reflection of themselves. So after you've been around enough like small business owners and you've dealt with them, and you can tell a lot about someone by the way their business is running. So if somebody's very dramatic and very, I have so much going on and this and that, and we'll talk about busyness later in the podcast later today, you're going to find out that, most people are not as busy as they like to think. People create jobs for themselves or create garbage work for themselves that's not a high-level money-making activity. And I guarantee you when they go home at night, their life is probably chaotic too. They're running around, they're busy, they have to do this, they have to do that. And I just got to find time to relax. I got to find time to myself. it's already there. It's already sitting in front of you as a business owner, as somebody that you just don't know it, and you have to switch your mind. And if the further you go down that road, the further you embrace that environment, the worse your business is going to be, and 100% will not be scalable at any time. You're not going to grow beyond a certain level. You're going to grow, let's say you can grow that chaos to maybe making, netting, pocketing 100 grand a year, whatever. You're not going to be able to escalate to 200, 300, even though you think you want to and you are. You won't, because you're just vomiting internally into your business. You might be taking in business, but there's no processes, no systems, no people that are, have clearly defined roles inside your company. And therefore, it's just a pile of mess inside there that everybody every day walks in and scrambles with. And I say that from a perspective of I'm saying it like I'm talking at you, or I don't want to say down to you, but I've been there. Like I recognize it. It probably took me 5 years to recognize it. In fact, the partners that allowed me to recognize it were the hard money banking partners. When they looked at my business with my old partner and said, hey, what does this person do? What does that person do? And we kind of had them sectionalized, but me and my partner were still doing a ton of work that, from basic eviction stuff to leasing to whatever. We found that the most important thing was when they said, no, this person does this person does that, we just ripped the Band-Aid, forced the situation, and realized once that happened and they were isolated into different roles, the people working inside your business are a lot happier because they're very clear as to what their function is, and they know what they have to do. They're not confused, they're not chaotic, they understand what they have to do. Once we separated that into departments, it all became so clear, and it was so important at that time. So business is not hard, it's a logical process. You need to be making more money than you're losing. I say losing because expenses to me are always losing. I hate expenses. You want to run lean, which I always say is running lean is really important, especially because it's easy to not run lean when times are good. It's hard to run lean when times are not good. So if you run lean while times are good, when times are not good, it's not a big adjustment. So run lean, make sure you departmentalize your business, no matter how big or small. It might just be you and a virtual assistant. I don't know what your business is, but it might be one thing. Just be very clear about it with them. So business is not hard. Don't make it hard. And we'll see you guys in the next one.